All right, so if you're in the middle of any of these, you will crash and burn. All right, let's get real about burnout, okay? Before we do that, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share the videos on the YouTube channel if you like the content that we're putting out for you on a weekly basis, all right? So burnout. I was 26 years old in the middle of my first business. I started when I was 21. At 26, I was in my 5th year of being an entrepreneur and owning my own freedom and conquering the world and all kinds of stuff. Well, what happened is that I got burned the fuck out. I didn't know what I was doing half the time when I was putting the business together, right? And those became habits. So me not understanding how business worked and then just kind of muscling through everything became a habit. And I was doing everything myself. I was trying to figure things out. When it came time to release control of the company, I wasn't doing, what I was supposed to be doing the right way. I was hiring wrong. I was doing all kinds of things. Whatever you think that is, maybe wrong in a business, I was doing it. I guarantee it. However, we were still, we were creating revenue, we were producing, and I thought everything was well, but it hit me. And when it hit me like a freight train, right? I didn't understand what it was. All of a sudden I was pissed off at life. I was really mad. I would look at the business and everything was working like it was, meant to work, right? Not necessarily optimized or anything, but everything was working to the degree that I knew that business could work. So after sitting with it for a while, it really all came down to a mindset issue. I was pissed off at life. And I didn't even realize it. I was just walking around in a bad mood. Sometimes just my energy was super low. I was tired all the time. I just didn't want to be doing the things that I was doing, right? When that was the business that I had created. And in my head, I was, working on this version of life by design, but that sucked. Being in that space of burnout was just terrible. It felt wrong, right? The big moral of the story here is that I didn't realize that it was happening until it was too late. So it's burnout will do that. It'll creep up on you until it's too late. Next thing you know, your energy is low, you're unmotivated, your drive and self-achievement, all those emotions, that fire that we entrepreneurs have when we wake up in the morning, they're not there to help you through the rough times. And they just start to dim. The danger with something like this, that it can become extinct, right? You can lose it. And you can, just because of a lack of motivation, which I think is one of the biggest dangers of burnout, is just not wanting or not feeling like you want to do anything else. Like the effort goes out the window. That charisma, if you have any, with your team, like it goes out the window. People will stop following you because you're in that burnout stage. And if you stay in that stage for a long time, your business will die. You will kill your business like this, right? So if you're in the middle of any of these 5 things that I'm going to talk about right now, which are some of the biggest reasons for burnout, you need to stop, reevaluate your priorities, and get your shit together, right? Number 1, if you're in the wrong business, doing the wrong thing. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at your behavioral strengths. What are your strong suits? What are you really good at? What do you feel good doing? All right, that whole, BS about working on your weaknesses and getting your weaknesses to a point where they're not weaknesses anymore, it's a fallacy. It's stupid. It's the stupidest thing ever. All right, and this is why. Okay, we're wired a certain way. Psychologically, we're wired a certain way. Some people are wired to be more outgoing than others. It doesn't mean that the other people are not having fun or in their happy place. We're just wired differently, all right? And if we force ourselves, and that's a natural thing. If you want to call it a thing, we come like that right out of the box, okay? So we have natural strengths. Understand what your natural strengths are, the space that you enjoy being in, and then capitalize on that. That's your strong suit. That's going to be your zone of genius. So if you're in the wrong business, doing the wrong thing, burnout can get to you a lot faster just because you're not enjoying, the journey per se, all right? And that's super basic. That's really like at the fundamental level of why burnout happens. You're just doing the wrong stuff, all right? So, for example, if you're somebody who is very social and you enjoy, talking to people all the time and then making connections and networking, if you build a business where you have to be stuck in a cubicle all day long looking at spreadsheets, you're screwed, all right? Like the burnout's gonna get to you just because you're not gonna enjoy it. You're gonna get tired. Your motivation is not gonna be there, and you're gonna build a box instead of a business. So play to your strengths. Figure out what those look like, and then build your business based off of that stuff. Now, granted, you're not going to be really, really good at every single area of your business, but for that, you think who, not how, all right? If you're not really good at something, say marketing or sales or whatever, you get a who, you get somebody to help you out with that section, and you focus on the areas that you actually enjoy doing because that's your highest and best, and it's where your talent is really going to shine. Now, number 2, no rest or counterbalance between your personal life and your business life. As entrepreneurs, we like to, it's almost like a badge of honor, right? When we have to go to the office and then we stay at 6 p.m., everybody leaves, 7 p.m., we're still there, 8 p.m., we got some new shit working up on a spreadsheet, at 9 p.m., we're fine-tuning some CRM, 10 p.m., we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do tomorrow, and we're spending hour after hour after hour after hour working on the business, right? And then there's no personal disconnection. There's no personal time in there to just give us that mental well-being. Now, if you don't time block for rest or counterbalance, meaning spending time doing personal activities, and you're still going heavy on the personal activities, say that you get out of work at 10 p.m. and then you still want to go have a couple of beers with your friends, you're gonna get burned out. It doesn't work that way. Entrepreneurship requires compromise. Think of it as counterbalance, all right? It requires you to have a degree of counterbalance between the two. So when we go heavy on the business side, you gotta have something on the personal side that pulls you back, all right? Not necessarily staying in Zen in that middle balanced spot. I think, it's almost impossible for a real entrepreneur to be in that state of mind, 24/7. Because we tend to go heavy on every single aspect, right, of life. We go heavy in the fun, we go heavy in the business, we go heavy in the relationships. It's part of, the overachievement that we're wired with. So if you're going heavy on the business side, have something on the personal side that draws you back. I mean, book some time, for happy hour with a friend, a couple of times a week or something that it's gonna be there, it's gonna pull you out of work, all right? Vice versa. But you can't go heavy on both sides. If you go heavy on the work side and you're, putting in all the after hours, which entrepreneurship requires, and you're still doing the same thing in your personal life, there's no time for rest. You're gonna burn out. You're just gonna be tired, all right? If you're tired, you're not focused, you can't concentrate, you can't perform the same way, you start dragging ass. Give yourself that window, all right? Understand there's a counterbalance between the two. Get some rest. Get some rest. I didn't get rest, I got burned out. Number 3, you're trying to do too much too soon. There's a tendency for unrealistic expectations, unrealistic benchmarks, and these are self-imposed stress. And these are self-imposed stressors, all right? So as we're building the business, we may want to say, in 6 months, I want to be producing 6 figures. That might be the case, and you may very well be able to do it, but at what cost, all right? So doing too much too soon is also going to push the envelope on that kind of stuff. It's going to throw your schedule out of whack. It's going to, throw your well-being out of whack. Your priorities are going to be out of whack because you're going to be all into that one specific goal. So doing too much too soon can be also one of the leading causes of burnout, right? So watch out for that. Number 4. If you have trouble delegating, as you build the business and as you start to bring people in, because we have built those habits, especially if you're bootstrapped, because we have built those habits of, doing everything and just kind of hovering over every single result, those habits can cause more harm than good. And as you're bringing people in, if you don't delegate, if you don't let them perform and do actually what you're paying them to do, that's like borrowing headaches. If you bring somebody in to sit down and handle a specific role in your business, let them do it. Let them work. You don't want to borrow those headaches. They have a responsibility. Let them shine. You brought them for a reason. Those people have talents. They're now part of your team. They're an extension of you, all right? Doesn't mean that you have to micromanage them. So if you are having trouble delegating, and you bring more people in, and more people in, and more people in, and you're micromanaging all this, you're borrowing headaches from each one of those. Now imagine what 10 additional headaches a day look like. If your team has 15 people in it, that's 15 additional headaches a day times 20 tasks. It's not sustainable. You don't want to do that. So learn how to delegate, all right? We want to delegate and automate as much as possible. And getting to the point where you trust your team before it's too late is critical. Number 5, it's no positive outlet. You don't have a positive outlet in your life for all the stress that's coming in through the business, through the family, through the tight schedules, through the runnings up and downs, through the meetings, through the networking, through responsibilities with your team, through payroll. All of that stuff starts to build up this almost like a pressure cooker effect, right? You gotta have a way to release it. If you don't, you're gonna cook. Now, what does that look like? It's gonna be different. It's gonna be different for everybody. It's gonna be different for you. I know that for me, meditation first thing in the morning works. Right after that, I have a creative outlet where I sit down and I journal and I put my thoughts on paper, and that to me just kind of clears my thinking, all right? I intentionally give myself critical thinking time where I'm not looking at emails, I'm not looking at anything. If I have nothing to think about, I just sit there with a journal and I open it up, and then I start writing down the first thing that comes through my mind. As I do that, I start getting into this train of thought, and then that's my creative process. Sometimes that's enough. Sometimes I'll work on a book. Sometimes I'll work on something else. But it's a way to disconnect from everything that's happening around me, right? In a creative way. I play guitar as well. I like to go to the gym. I like to, do 1,000 things. But I have all those are almost therapeutic to me. They're creative outlets. You gotta have a way to debrief from everything that's going on around your life as an entrepreneur. Now, last but not least, when your mind is tired, and this is huge, when I saw it, it just landed. When your mind is tired, work out your body, all right? Move. If you're the type of person that doesn't like to go to the gym, that's fine, don't go to the gym, but go for a walk. Just try to sweat a little bit, at least, every single day. It creates blood flow. Your biological reaction to working out and moving, it's also great for you. The biological reaction that happens as a result of physical exercise, I mean, it's magical. Your dopamine levels just rise. You feel a lot better about yourself. And then you just reinvigorate that energy, all right? That at the end of the day can be wearing out. So move. If you don't like to go to the gym, don't go to the gym. But I mean, try yoga, try something else. Go for a walk. I mean, if you have a dog, take the dog out. I don't know, figure something out. But when your mind is tired, work out your body, all right? And make sure that you get some rest. Now, as a recommendation, a very simple framework that I've used is the Miracle Morning Framework. And that's a book that you can, pick up. It's the Miracle Morning book. And it's simple, it's effective, and it's a really good way to just kind of get exposed on how to do these things, all right? How to structure your morning in a way that it's going to tee it up for the rest of the day, and then your energy is going to be up. We need a structured approach to creating positivity in our lives, all right? There's so much shit going on a daily basis that you need to be aware, you need to own that space, you need to come to terms with it, and really make it part of your habits, right? So the Miracle Morning book, it's a good way to kind of get going on that. So my friends, those are five of the top reasons for burnout. Understand that running on fumes is not sustainable. Going all work, no play is not sustainable. Going all play, no work is not sustainable. There's got to be a counterbalance between the two. Burnout will creep up on you. You will not notice it until you're unmotivated. You don't feel like doing stuff. You're just tired. You're pissed off at your family when you get home. You're pissed off at your employees when you're at work. Everything's running well. You're just your emotional cycles are all out of whack. Those are signs of burnout. You're probably not in a burnout state. Be intentional about creating healthy habits right out of the get-go and recognizing when you're redlining, all right? If you're in the middle of any of the stuff that I just mentioned, watch out. Just be careful, because you can get to the point where if your emotions are not there, if your mindset is not there, and you're more tired and unmotivated than energetic throughout the day, that's a big, big red flag to watch out for, right? All right, now again, do me a big, big favor. Go to that subscribe button, smash it, send it over to people that you think might take some benefit out of watching this video. Share it, help me spread the love. Stay focused, you got this.